actually hearing a lot of shit online here, and it's a little unnerving stuff that I'm hearing, and it's coming from a source that I believe is credible. So, man, look at those guys. It's spraying. It's spraying. Look, there's a jet right there, not making nothing. Yeah, nothing coming out of that. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of shit starting to take place here in the next little while, starting on the 17th, and it's going to continue on until November. And it's pretty fucked up shit. Anyway, it's got to do with Nibiru, Planet X, and all that stuff that we've all been hearing about, that was supposed to take us all out in 2012, which I guess was just a setup for that time to come, and then we'd all say, oh shit, it was just a joke, you know, and then we'd all take our mind off it. So then when we did hear the real shit that was coming down, which is going to be this year, we would pay no attention to it, and of course not be ready, and then when the shit hits the fan, we're all fucked. There's a planetoid coming in, and it's on an elliptical orbit, and it comes around every 3,600 years. And it also, actually it's a star, it's a binary star, which is, you know, like, I guess our solar system has two stars, our sun that we look at every day, and this other star that's on an elliptical orbit. It comes around here every 3,600 years. Anyway, this is the year she comes into orbit, so she's also bringing with her 7 planets. These planets are going to cause a lot of havoc because they come between the planet Earth and the sun, and they're going to mess up the gravitational whatever of the Earth. They're going to mess around with the Van Allen belt, which is our protective barrier around the Earth, which keeps out microwave and solar radiation and all that shit. You know, UVA, UVB, and all that stuff. So anyway, this shit's going to happen. It's going to start on the 17th of this month. You're going to start noticing different stuff going on, earthquakes, and just climate shit. They're just going to, of course, the government will say it's just, you know, they won't raise an alarm. They'll just, you know, come up with excuses what it is, and it's not going to last or whatever. But in fact, that it is. This is a big fucking thing. And I think this might even be related to what happened to the dinosaurs. Get the hell underground somehow, get into the sewer systems, get some food, get water. If you got a camper, bury the fucking camper 3 feet under the surface of on the soil, because the microwave won't be able to get at you. You know, you'll be protected down there. I've been telling fucking everybody, I don't give a fuck. I believe something is coming down here. If you've been keeping an eye on what's going on the last fucking little while, you know that something's going on. You know, with the United States and just everything. If you've been awake, you know what's going on, and you're gonna tie it all together and fucking get ready for it, because something, you know, if it isn't true, then whatever. But it's better to err on the side of caution and have some extra food, water, whatever, and just be aware of what you can do in case that, you know, this shit is coming down. And get ready for it, man, because I think it might be coming down.
I went downstairs, I was leaving the Pentagon, and an officer from the Joint Staff called me into his office and said, I want you to know, he said, sir, we're going to attack Iraq. And I said, why? He said, we don't know. He said, I said, well, did they tie Saddam to 9/11? He said, no. He said, but I guess they don't know what to do about terrorism, and so they think, but they can attack states, and they want to look strong, and so I guess they think if they take down a state, it will intimidate the terrorists. And you know, it's like that old saying, he said, if the only tool you have is a hammer, then every problem has to be a nail. Well, I walked out of there pretty upset, and then we attacked Afghanistan. I was pretty happy about that. We should have. And then I came back to the Pentagon about 6 weeks later. I saw the same officer. I said, why haven't we attacked Iraq? We still going to attack Iraq? He said, oh, sir. He said, it's worse than that. He said, he pulled up a piece of paper off his desk. He said, I just got this memo from the Secretary of Defense's office that says we're going to attack and destroy the governments in 7 countries in 5 years. We're going to start with Iraq, and then we're going to move to Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. They wanted us to destabilize the Middle East, turn it upside down, make it under our control.
Far too long now, and the rest of Congress, including the executive branch of government, along with the judicial and legislative, have turned your back on the American people and their core values and principles. I can say with great confidence and speak on behalf of all Americans that your actions against this country are treasonous. All of you, against the will of the American people, have aided and abetted the enemy. You and the rest of Congress, including the President of the United States, have went against the will of your people. In Syria, regardless of your position and vote, whether it is a yes or no, is still a political smokescreen. I believe wholeheartedly you do not care about the will and well-being of America or its people. You lie to the American people about the chemical attacks in Syria. The American people know that it was our government that is most likely responsible. There is strong evidence, including video, that these attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda, and you advocate starting a war, even maybe world war. President Barack Hussein Obama has been supporting terrorism. The United States has been funding and aiding its organizations, including the Muslim Brotherhood and Al-Qaeda, for many years now. The same enemy we're supposed to be defeating on the battlefield. At least one country in this world stood up against this government terrorism that you guys support in Egypt. The people of Egypt throughout Mohammed Morsi, which Obama supported as well, as countless Christians have lost their lives under evil people such as this. You swore an oath to protect us and protect from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. The simple irony is the domestic enemy now in this country is the people in government, the United States. And McCain and you and the rest of our leaders are accountable for their actions. It's too bad someone like me is not in office to hold you accountable, because if I was in a position of power or authority, I would have you all arrested and tried for treason against my country under the grounds of 18 U.S.C. 2381 treason U.S. Code. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason. That is the code. The American people are sick of it. This country rose up against you recently. The ratio, hang on, I have a right of free speech, I can finish. The American people opposed the going to war with Syria, which includes many Marines and other veterans by the thousands, was 499 to 1. That is 99% of the people of this country. So if you and the rest of this government are truly for the American people and representatives of us, I suggest this time you listen, because nobody wants another war or strike in Syria or anywhere else. Bring our brothers and sisters home.
Images have emerged on social media purporting to show U.S. servicemen speaking out against a looming strike against Damascus. People in military dress are seen posing in front of cameras with signs saying that they didn't sign up to fight with Al-Qaeda in Syria. These pictures cannot be verified. The Pentagon is reportedly looking into the possible identities of those involved. For some perspective on that, I'm joined by Gordon Duff, a Marine Corps veteran and editor of the independent news website Veterans Today.
By this time, 13 years of war, people in the military have no faith in anything the government has to say at all. They're sick and tired of the war, and the government has no credibility with the rank and file in the military.
What do you make of the fact that Washington is backing Syrian rebels who are fighting alongside militant groups, some of them linked to Al-Qaeda?
You know, it's something that we are noticing every single day.
You're asking about the danger of escalation, really, with Russia and China. I think it's very, very serious. And I think the markets are telling us that. I think the price of oil is telling us that, because it's really a big thing. So you can't ignore that. No, I don't. I think it's a false flag. I think really, indeed, and it's big risk. This can escalate, and Russia could get involved. What if there's an accident and 100 Russians get killed by our bombs? Who knows? Some type of unintended consequences. Wars always expand.
We do not need a war in Syria. The war in Syria is a hoax. Just like the war in Iraq was a hoax under Bush, the war in Syria is a hoax under Obama. He's talking preemptive strike, the same as Bush. He's talking sending in troops, the same as Bush. The difference is that once we start a war in Syria, it's not just a war with Syria. Russia will be called into Syria's defense.
Ultimately, I do not want any intervention anymore in the Middle East. All wars are lies, and I've been there firsthand to see it, and it's not good.
So the whole idea behind this war policy make us believe that he didn't start the war, which is what he's doing by preemptive executive orders or whatever. He is the problem. Obama needs to be removed, and people need to understand that this puppet needs to be taken down. He needs to be removed from office in order to stop this war.